All right, guys, so we're on something right now. There we go.
Some fish are legendary, some are sacred, and some will test everything you've got. Across North America, indigenous tribes have fished these waters for centuries, carving traditions, ceremonies, and survival from every catch. Now, we travel deep into their ancestral homelands to uncover stories behind the fish that shape their cultures, and catch some absolute giants along the way. From the raging rivers of the Pacific Northwest to the untouched lakes of the Great Plains, we're hooking into monsters that fed generations and diving headfirst into the traditions that keep them alive today. I'm Robert Jacobo, and this is Indigafish, Tribal Tales. Are you ready to chase something big?
All right, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Indigafish. I am your host, Robert Jacobo. I am stoked to be out here today. It is absolutely beautiful. Look at this. We got blue, clear skies, not a single cloud up there, and the temperature just right, baby. It is not too hot at all, and I gotta say, it is definitely giving me some good vibes for this afternoon's fishing adventure. So what we got is we got two rods set up, right? Both set up in the style of a Carolina rig. One set up a little heavier, and that's the dowel rod, and that's gonna have our sliding weight on there, right? We have a sliding, adjusting thing, right? I don't even know what this thing is necessarily called, but it slides along our line, right? We got 30-pound monofilament on that Garrett reel. That's the dowel. Then on the Lindsay pole, our Symetra pole with our Sienna 4000 reel, we have some 20-pound monofilament rigged up as a Carolina rig with a 1-ounce egg drop sinker. Not an egg drop, actually a sliding egg sinker. And so what we're gonna look for is some sand crabs in the surf, some relatively weak points in the wave breaks, right? We're looking for those troughs. And then if anything, we're making our way down to this jetty over here, right? The small jetty. We've been out there before. I'm gonna see about getting some mussels as well. Remember, according to California law, you can get up to 10 pounds a day, not for human consumption, but for bait use. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna gather some of that up and use that for bait as well. So we're looking at sand crabs, we're looking at mussels, we're looking at heavy rods, we're looking at lighter rods, and we're looking at just having a good time, baby. So let's get out there, let's have a good time, and let's go catch some fish today, all right? Stay tuned. All right, guys, so we got our good allotment of sand crabs that we're gonna use for our journey today. And basically, what we're wanting to do is, let's take this guy for example. He's already on his back. Oh. They're all getting a little frantic. However, this guy on his back, there's a little shovel right there, right? Now we want to hook him in the back, but still have the hook kind of not exposed, but underneath that shovel. So that way it's hiding. So the next thing that we're gonna do, let's take a look here, right? Because these sand crabs are all right here. Now, if we can go ahead and actually locate within the waves, right? Look at the waves here, how they're breaking and stuff. So that's gonna help us to find structure. So if anything, we can see where the waves are coming up and you're having that white crest, right? That's more so likely where there is structure, right? Where there's not like a low trough. And you're also gonna be able to see where the fish are coming up. You can actually see them sometimes, like right there. There was one right there. I don't know if you guys got to see it, but he went right into the surf. Let's go ahead and get our Carolina rig snapped up with a sand crab, and let's get started, guys. Yeah, this is gonna be great. All right, guys, so we're still in the surf. We're looking for Corbinas, we're looking for Croakers, pretty much anything that's gonna bite. Now, I've seen some fish in the surf as they come up, feeding on sand crabs and stuff like that, kind of seeing the ridge of their back as they're kind of like getting beached up a little bit, and then they hustle on back. but it just seems that I'm not putting my hook and my bait in the right spot. So if anything, we're gonna give it a few more here, and then we're gonna go ahead and keep on our journey, so that way we can get to our next stop. And if we see anything along the way, we can always peel off. But we got tons of sand crabs in that bag. We wanna go ahead and get some mussels as well. So we're gonna go ahead and continue on our journey in just a few. So anyways, guys, stay tuned. Just wanted to give you an update. All right, guys, so we saw a couple more in the surf. Like I said, you could spot them with their big old backs, like humps coming out of the water. And it was so cool to see them. The only thing is, it just really sucks. You can't leave your line in there for very long. Otherwise, you're just coming up on big, giant balls of kelp. And so, to be honest, I'd rather just move to another spot. But I mean, this spot is really, really good all the way down. As you can see, as the tide is going outward, you know, we might be able to find some more spots towards the rocks over there. But just this side is just super kelpy. So there's not really too much. I can see one right now. He's down there, just kind of waiting in the surf, and he's going his way back. But see how he's like right next to a big piece of kelp. So it's like, as soon as you throw your line in, it's like you're doomed. So I'd rather just not lose a bunch of line and lose a bunch of hooks and stuff like that to the surf and to the kelp than to just move on to a new spot. So anyways, guys, we're gonna pack it up. We got our backpack on, we got our 2 poles ready to go, and let's go ahead and get back onto our journey. All right, guys, so we're on something right now. There we go. Little yellow croaker. All right, guys. Whew. And I almost just hooked myself in the throat. All right, so we have ourselves our nice little yellow croaker. All right, get myself out of the shadow there. But this guy, we decided not to throw in the shallow anymore. It was just getting too frustrating, right? And so we decided to go ahead and throw a little bit deeper, and this guy hit it immediately, right? So if anything, guys, let's go ahead and be thankful. We got the skunk off the back for the day. Man, this guy is definitely a feisty one. He's got a lot of fight in him today. There we go. Come here. All right, guys, so we have the yellow croaker. He's our first catch of the day. Skunk off the back, baby. And you know what? We're gonna go ahead and get him out of the water. Or back into the water. He's been out of it for a little bit of time, but we decided to go deeper than just the shallows where we were seeing the Corbina, and he was our first catch. The thing hit pretty hard and pretty immediately. So anyways, we're gonna keep on hunting for some more. All right, guys. All right, guys, so we caught the yellow croaker at our second spot. And so now I've seen the Corbina kind of just hanging out and stuff like that in the water. Unfortunately, I'm just not able to entice these guys. So we're gonna go ahead and move on to the next spot. If we spot some more along the way, like I said, the beach is beautiful today. So, I mean, you got this long walkway of area where you can just go ahead and, you know, pick things up. I'm almost half tempted to grab one of these things with my bare hands, but I don't think I'm quick enough to go ahead and do that. But anyways, we're gonna keep making our way down to the short jetty and then continue our fishing from there. We still got our bag of sand crabs. And so those proved to work well as far as with the croaker. And I think if anything, we're gonna be able to pull off another one here shortly. So if anything, guys, stay tuned. Let's see what we bring in next. All right, guys, so we made it over to the jetty. We're on the short jetty over here in Redondo off of Knob Hill. And check it out. So we got our mussels, right? We have a big old clump of mussels that we're working with. We also got this little rig that we set up here. So we have a sliding bobber, right? Of which we actually spliced 2 pieces of line together because we didn't have like a bobber stop, which is normally like a little piece of plastic that'll slide onto your line. So I just went ahead and spliced 2 pieces of line together so that way we can create that stop. That's gonna allow our line to drop down. So what it is this bobber will slide up and down the line up until that point where I tied that knot. And then this sinker will keep us with our bait lowered in the water. Now, it's gonna be somewhat still like a Carolina rig, right? That bait, which is gonna be here, is still gonna float freely. So we're gonna drop it right here. I saw a bunch of bait fish right in front of me. So I wanna see if we can't go ahead and capture some. And not only that, but this is the bait that we're working with, right? We're working with some mussels. We found a big old clump of them. And so they're pretty big. So we went ahead and shucked a couple of them open, and we're gonna go ahead and get to work, guys. So let's work on getting that second fish, because we weren't picking them too much up off the shore anymore. So anyways, here's to the next fish, guys. So stay tuned. All right, guys, so we got a line in the water right now. It's approximately 5:30. And so we're kind of just like letting this one happen for the most part. I've had some nibbles now, kind of just in this general area, right? Like there's some bait fish and stuff like that, like little tiny fish here and there, but nothing to where, you know, I'm getting super excited or anything. Even with the smaller hook, nothing was latching on. And so I just went ahead and said, you know what, let me go ahead and re-rig my Carolina rig and get it out there. So that way we can see what else is kind of in the waves and stuff like that, and kind of go from there. Now, if we end up getting a bite, great. If not, we may just end up kind of calling it an evening for the most part and then going from there. But if anything, it looks like a lot of these guys over here, these bait fish that are sitting in this pool, right, are kind of jumping at the surface. So might be even useful to like maybe fly line something right there and just kind of have them feed off the surface. But at the same time, it's just not something I'm willing to deal with right now. So anyways, guys, let's go ahead and see what goes on in these next couple casts here, and then we'll go from there. So stay tuned. Woo, what a day, what a day. Look, we're finishing the day off with 1 fish. And all we can really ask for is that one, right? So that's the thing. We can come out here, we can think that we're gonna get all kinds of fish, you know, but like I said before, I'm not here to be the expert. I'm here to learn each and every day that I'm out here fishing. I mean, to come out here and then see fish and they're right in front of you and, you know, they're nibbling, and it's like, man, do I not have a small enough hook, or am I not using the right attractant, or am I not using the right bait? Is it not the right time? You know, there's so many different variables when it comes to fishing that pretty much, you know, the only thing that you can do is throw your line in the water and see if something happens, right? So, you know, there's a lot of other things, a lot of other guys that are out there that I hope that I get to meet and stuff like that, to where they have it down, right? They have it down to a science. But that's just not me yet, which is okay, because that's the whole part of the journey, right? Is getting to learn. So anyways, guys, we finished off the day with just the yellow croaker. I'm walking right now in this beautiful area and this beautiful beach. And it's just so amazing. Like, and you can literally see the fish as they're, you know, as they're kind of escaping by your feet and stuff. You know, every once in a while, one will just pop out. But yeah. So anyways, guys, I'm gonna get going, enjoy my walk, and until next time, guys, take care.